Good morning. I'm Barbie Weidner along with Robin Duffy. I'm the event coordinator here at the Wigwam, and I'd like to welcome you to the property. The Wigwam consists of a Wigwam event center. We have the community theater, and it is also home to the administrative offices of Violet Township. The 63-acre property was privately owned by the Wolf family of Columbus from 1928 until 2018, when it was purchased by Violet Township and made available to the public for the first time in its 90-year history. There are many tales to be told of the parties that we've heard that were held here, as the Wolves entertained lavishly and also very generously throughout the community for many civic organizations. If someone needed to have a place to hold a benefit event, the Wolves would invite them out to the Wigwam and then pay for it all themselves. They'd foot the entire bill. So they were quite generous to the community all the years that they owned the property. I'm going to start here and have you follow me into the township offices, and then we'll wander around, and I'd like to introduce you to the whole property. We're glad you're here to watch this. All right. There we go. Coming into the township offices, which used to be part of the original cabin. And over here on the wall, I want to direct your attention to this photograph. This is the picture of the original cabin that was built on the property as a birthday present for H.P. Wolf in 1928. The grounds were primarily used as a retreat and hunting grounds for the members of the Wolf family at that time. As their business enterprises grew, that would be the Columbus Dispatch, WBNS TV, and radio, they developed the property and used it for entertaining. I'm going to show you the big lodge, which is the name we call our banquet hall. This banquet hall is 7,300 square feet of space, which is ideal for wedding receptions, birthday parties, family reunions, celebrations of life. We can seat up to 450 people in this space, but as you see it configured today, this would be set for about 120 to 125 guests. We just had a wedding reception here this past Saturday, and so the tables are set as it was for then. Also, with our 4 audiovisual screens around the room, this makes an ideal space for corporate seminars or business training sessions. We've had the State of the County address here last year. Fairfield County came up and it was filled with 350 people. It was a great afternoon. We're looking forward to having them come back in September. So here we go. If we come down these steps, I want to go down the other side for you. If you can see, Robin will show you out the doors. There are balconies on both sides of the lodge that overlook the ponds and into the woods. I think you can get a sort of good picture of that. I don't want to have him step out too much because well, there you go. Now you can see it. You'll just hear the noise from the fountains. Outstanding. Beautiful. So we come down to our bar area, which is a great place for guests to mingle and socialize if you're having a gathering. Lots of space down here. Sometimes we even have the social hour with appetizers set up right in this space, but it's also quite easy for folks to move out onto the patio for a social hour. I'll wait for Robin to scan around here. You will see throughout the property the influence of our Native American culture. H.P. Wolf and some of his friends went west to Sun Valley and found the Indian culture quite interesting, liked the calmness and the quietness of it. Many names were thrown around for what they were going to name the property, among them Wolf's Woods, but their like for the American Indian culture influenced them and the design of the buildings, and they decided to call it Wolf's Wigwam. And the name has stuck, and we hope it will stay for a long time. All right, we're going to go back up because we need to stay kind of close in the building or our internet connection gets a little bit fuzzy. So we'll go back up these stairs and out the patio, out on the balconies. There are 2 large patios, an upper and a lower, ideal for having your wedding ceremonies here or your parties outside, the areas can be tented. We've seen tenting up here on this upper patio, which you'll get a look at here as Robin comes along behind me. We've seen the upper patio tented for the wedding and the lower patio used for the building across. This upper patio, the building with the tower was called the pool house. This upper used to be in the wolf.
We're losing you guys. You might want to go back closer back into that main building. The farther you go outside, we lose a little bit.
Well,
All right, can you hear us again?
got us back?
Okay.
Got us back,
Yep.
Rachel? Okay,
Yep.
cool. Okay, cool beans. We have to stay kind of close to the building here, and we're getting rained on, of course, instead of a beautiful sunny day. I'd like to take you over and show you the theater, and I think I'm going to walk us through the building instead of going around the outside. It makes it a little simpler that way.
Okay.
You can get you'll still get a feel for all the rest of it, but we're going to cut through the building. It helps both with the rain and also the signal. We're going to sneak through the township offices. As we go by this door on the right, if you're having a wedding ceremony, we have a beautiful women's lounge with bridal salon upstairs for the gals to get ready. We've seen brides come and have their makeup people come here rather than have to run everywhere, get their hair done everywhere. They bring them all here. So we're walking through the space as we head back towards the offices. What you're coming into now is actually what would have been the back porch area of the original cabin. And I know Robin can get a good shot. The logs that built the cabin were actually telephone poles that they removed from old Route 40 when they were widening the street from Columbus to Buckeye Lake. Gentlemen, they bought the poles for $1 each, and that's what was used to construct the original cabin, which I think is kind of cool. And you still see the holes from the telephone linemen as they climbed up. Down we go here. As you come, this is the back of one of the fireplaces, and I always like to point it out just because the bricks are really not beautiful. They are the overbaked bricks, misthrown, misfired, which the Wolves really liked. They wanted it to be rustic. And the story goes that the brick masons had to be reminded every single day to make it imperfect. They didn't want it to be perfect and everything smooth and level. They wanted it to be rough hewn like this. So we'll come across here. The space here on your right is the conference room, for the township. Currently, we also use it for the gentlemen to get prepared if there's a wedding ceremony on the grounds until we get our small space done across the way. This next room was called the living room. It was the second building built on the property and overlooked what they called the reflecting pool, which we can show you when we get outside. It is now the Township Trustees room. You'll see around the top of this room a mural that was painted by a gentleman who worked for the Columbus Dispatch, and it's the history of transportation. You'll see planes, boats, trains, wagons, Indians, horseback, and we sometimes refer to this room as the Crayola crayon room with all the little points of color around, and very thankful that the township chose to maintain the integrity of this and not paint over it. It's kind of neat. There we go. Fair enough. All right, let's walk over here and I'll show you the theater. This video, whoops, sorry. The patio straight out used to be a croquet court, but when they built the theater over on this side, they changed it into a lovely patio area that works well for events when there's something going on in the theater. People could come out and it can be tented. Quite often it would have patio chairs and tables with umbrellas. So welcome to the community theater. We are home to Pickerington Community Theater. Last year they did 4 productions here. This year, because of the COVID situation, their production schedule has been greatly reduced. However, they do intend to do their Christmas production. It's a Wonderful Life, and it will be in December, the first 2 weekends of December. So there's my plug for PCT. The space here is a nice space if you would like to have some sort of small reception. The countertop, in fact, does serve, there's a bar behind, so you can have food and drinks over here, go out onto the patio to enjoy. Here we go. I'll show you our 303-seat theater. There have been so many people here entertaining during the time that the Wolfs owned the property. Bob Hope, Jimmy Stewart, the cast of Gilligan's Island, the cast of MASH. The list goes on and on. I think John Wayne was here. One of my favorite stories goes back into the 80s when Woody Hayes was still coaching at Ohio State, and he would bring the football team out to the Wigwam and house them here prior to a game. It was pretty safe. There was no place that they could escape to and get in trouble. So we love knowing that Ohio State had a strong influence out here too. These theater seats are probably the most comfortable theater seats you'll ever sit in. They rock. And my favorite part about it in this theater, if you come, you can sit in your seat and someone can walk across in front of you without having to get up. There's plenty of space between each row. It's quite the place. We're very thankful that we have this. We've had companies have seminars and trainings here, also in the theater. So it works not only for entertainment, but also for education. All righty, we'll go out and take a quick look outside and wander back over. And if anybody has any questions, go ahead and ask as you go. All righty.
I have a quick question for you about the PCT. Do they have a website that has programs listed that people could go to and see what's playing?
Yes, PCTshows.com. Yep. PCTshows.com. Good question.
Thank you.
Welcome. Absolutely. Our little waterfall almost got destroyed when the township purchased the property. We needed to make a handicap accessible way to the theater. And the only way they could do that before was to go through the township offices. So they thought they were going to tear out our waterfall and our everything was going to be gone. But the gentleman who'd done all the concrete work here for a long time said, let me see if I can't build a bridge. And they were successful with it. So we have the bridge. It's a great place to take picture. When we had, we invited the high school graduates from Pickerington North and Pickerington Central to come on a Sunday afternoon and take family photos everywhere. Everybody loved this place as the spot to take their pictures. It was just great. We had 250 students and their families come that day. It was a beautiful, beautiful sunny day. Worked well. We'll do it again next year and probably open it up to more schools. So that sort of gives you a picture of what we look like and the kind of things that we do. And we can walk back over into the lodge and see whatever anybody might have a question about. If not, we're thankful you all decided to come and be on our virtual tour. This is the first time I've done this, so I hope I did okay, you guys.
You did a great job. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. I have another quick question. Is there prices for rentals on the website, and what's the website?
The website that we're using is Violet Township's website. And we have not published the prices out there, but I'm happy to email you a copy of our policies and rates. We've tried to keep it pretty simple and as reasonable as we can. There's not a whole lot of add-on extras. You know, there's a base rate for residents and a base rate for non-residents, and then there's another rate for government and nonprofits such as you guys. And let me email that to you. I'll get your email and I'll email that information to you. Is that okay?
That'd be great. Thank you.
Super. Appreciate the question. Absolutely. So you sort of get to see what we look like, rain and all that. All right. Let's see if we can sneak our way back in here.
Does anybody else have any other questions while we have these guys still on? And if you don't want to speak up, you can put them in the chat and I can read them.
I just had a question about the pricing too, and about like if you got the whole facility or sections of it, or you know, like just the specifics of renting and using that facility. That was the question.
Cool. When you rent the property, if you're here for a wedding reception, we let you have it for the entire.
You're breaking up on us a little bit again.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
Generally speaking, the rates, you know, through the week, we do it like an 8 to 4 block or a 4 to 11 block sort of thing. I'm not real good at all those numbers. I can tell you if you're here for a wedding reception on the weekends, if you're here on a Saturday or Sunday and you're a township resident, the rate to rent the lodge is $4,000. If you're a non-resident of Violet Township, it's $6,000. Fridays are a little bit cheaper. I can't tell you because I don't have it in front of me, and there's enough pieces and parts to it. You're allowed to bring your own caterer. We just ask that they be licensed and insured. We let you bring your own alcohol. Again, just asking that the caterer be the one that provides the bartenders. It can't be my Aunt Mildred or Uncle Ted, you know, doing the bartending. We just want to make sure that they're properly trained. That if you, and for the time that you are here for your actual event, there is a staffing fee that's a $75 per hour staffing fee. So if your event's from 4 to 9, that's a $300 fee for the staff.
Barbie, we have a question in the chat. Where is this located?
We are at 10190 Blacklick Eastern Road in Pickerington. If you're coming from Fairfield County, if you're coming from Lancaster, the easiest way to do it is to probably come all the way up 33 to Diley Road. Come north on Diley Road to 256, which is Hill Road. Take Hill Road to intersection number 1, which is the last intersection before I-70 cuts across, and you'll turn right on 204 Blacklick Eastern Road, and we're just down the road about a quarter of a mile. Does that help?
Yes, it does. And then we have another question in the chat. How far ahead do you have to reserve space?
Right now, things are fairly open, as you might expect with most venues. Generally speaking, if you're talking wedding reception, the earlier the better, though again, depending on, you know, change of everything and displacement of brides, we can sometimes accommodate anything even within 2 or 3 weeks of the event date, as long as it's open. I would say generally speaking, you probably ought to think in terms of a month to 6 weeks for general corporate kinds of things and smaller events. Okay.
Any other questions?
Cool beans.
Anybody else have any other questions? I think you covered a lot of material. I was up there not long ago when they did the state of the county, and I had no idea that that place even existed. And then today to see all the pieces and parts, like I had no idea that all that was there, and that the theater looks amazing.
It is really wonderful. We hear all the time, Rachel, oh my goodness, I've driven by there for so many years and never knew what was behind those golden gates.
Yes.
And we are so thankful that it is now open to the public. And because the township offices are here, the property is open from 8 to 4:30 every day, Monday through Friday. And we invite people to come, you know, drive in, walk around, you know, go ahead and walk the property. You know, if you like to take a walk every day, we have folks who regularly walk. And it's just a great place. I'm here most of the time, you know, but if you come during the week, the property open, you can come and take a look in case I wouldn't be here. So it's
Very
neat.
cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
Okay, if no one else has any questions, I want to say thank you guys so much for being on today. We're going to load your video onto the YouTube channel, and then I'll email you the link.
Perfect.
So we really appreciate you being here.